All right, what's up, guys? Here is mEGGatron. So mEGGatron and I are live on YouTube. For anyone new here, Sarah and I's channel is a little bit all over the place. We are starting a regenerative farm from scratch. So we are first generation female farmers, but we also like to share about healthy eating, so an animal-based nutrition strategy, and also healing, hormones, and amenorrhea. So today's Q&A live may be a little bit all over the place, but I polled you guys on Instagram, so I have some starting questions. mEGGatron is going to be contributing the whole time. So, okay. All right, so the first question that we received on Instagram, we've just pulled them. Tell us about these chicken breeds. So we have 3 breeds right now. If you guys watched, she liked something on my sweater. If you guys watched our YouTube video that we posted on Wednesday, we went through all 8 of their names. This is mEGGatron. She's I think a Plymouth Rock. And then we also have Americana and then the Isa Browns. We're kind of having a rooster problem. I think that there's many of you guys have let us know that there are too many roosters, not enough hens. So we have 3 roosters, 8 hens. No, 3 roosters, 5 hens. So really bad numbers. So we're going to potentially drive tomorrow to go get some more hens. We're looking for like a few month old because we don't have a brooder yet. So near laying, but we also don't want like really old either. So going to be on the hunt for some chickens tomorrow to hopefully expand the cluck crew. Okay, so then another question is, now that you have some chickens, what's next? And this is from Eric, and Eric just said, hey. So that's a great question. So we're currently building them a mobile home right now because they're living in the coop, but we want them to be able to spread their poo like all over. I know it's only 8 chickens, but hey, a little manure can go a long way. So we're trying to build a mobile chicken coop so we can bring them around Angel Acres. And we may expand this number so we can build 2 or 3 maybe chicken coops and they can go around Angel Acres, because ultimately we were talking to a local fertilizer company who sells like manure. So we were going to buy truckloads of chicken manure this fall to put on before the snow comes anyways. And so I think we're going to just switch and use those funds for chickens instead, because then we'll get eggs and the chicken poo. Know what I'm saying? And the chicken manure is like a great natural fertilizer. It'll help kickstart that soil to get healthier in the spring. All right, the next question that we received on Instagram was raw milk or pasteurized milk, and why? So if you guys follow us on Instagram, you will know that we are huge proponents of raw milk. I personally notice a improved digestion with raw milk as opposed to pasteurized dairy. So pasteurized dairy takes raw milk and it heats it at a high temperature, and then it also likely goes through homogenization, which just mixes it all up, and so there's no cream separation. So I personally think that raw milk is like a live food. It has all of its nutrients preserved in the way that it was supposed to. I think that there's some evidence that shows reduced nutrients and slightly, she's really liking this shirt, and slightly denatured proteins, fats. There's also some evidence showing that people who are lactose intolerant can handle raw dairy significantly better. So I personally prefer raw dairy. As always, find your local trusted farmer. Never consume raw dairy from confinement operations. That milk needs to be pasteurized because of all of the antibiotics and nastiness there. So find your trusted local farmer, and you can find yours at realmilk.com. They have a raw milk finder at realmilk.com. Okay, so next question. This is going to be a little bit controversial in the keto and carnivore community. So the question is, hard to sort out all the little differences between experts on sugar. Where do you stand? Okay, so if anyone's following us on Instagram, they will know that we consume raw honey, fruits, squashes. All of these contain sugar. But just as a note, sugar is not just pure fructose. Sugar is a mix between fructose and glucose. We would not be consuming these if we thought that they were bad. Do you know what I'm saying? I personally believe that these sugar sources, raw honey, fruit, squashes, etc., I think that those are fine in the context of a nutrient-dense diet. So like I had a snack just like an hour ago, and it was raw honey and liver. So like I'm getting my nutrients in. I think that if someone is struggling to get their nutrients in and sugar takes up most of their diet, yes, they should reduce their sugar consumption. But I personally believe in the context of a nutrient-dense diet, it's not the enemy. There is some papers that you could look into. So Hall, Hall, is a researcher. He had a comprehensive meta-analysis in 2017, I believe, where two groups, low carb and high carb, were like the same calories and they lost the same amount of weight despite the higher carb people having slightly higher insulin. So this is very controversial, but I wouldn't be consuming it if I didn't think it was a problem. And I've also been consuming these carbohydrate sources. It's not my whole diet. It's a part of my diet for a few months now, and I feel really good. Okay. Oh, just one more note though, like the sugar sources, those foods can be lower satiety, and so they can be easier to overconsume. I'm not here to tell you you need to consume sugar. No, I'm here to tell you you need to find what works best for you. And if consuming sugar sources leads to binges or leads you off the track that you're on to accomplish your goals, then maybe you shouldn't consume as much or any. It just depends on you individually. I personally feel great and I feel like I can eat a normal amount while still consuming some in the context of an animal-based, nutrient-dense diet. Eat your liver, eat your oysters, okay? All right, so now I'm gonna come to the chat really quickly. So someone said, have you gotten your period back? Oh, sorry, Megatron you're out of the frame, I'm sorry. So no, it's unfortunately a waiting game. I had amenorrhea for 10 years. Sarah had it for like 3-ish. She got hers back after like 4 or 5 months. We're heading on about month 7 now. I'm seeing a lot of positive, good changes. Like I feel significantly different than I did a few months ago. I'm seeing physical changes. I feel differently. A lot of that is TMI, but I see these changes and I know that it's coming and I just have to be hopeful and positive about it because it can be discouraging. I know some people, it takes over a year, it takes a year and a half, but I'm here for it. Maggie's my support system. We got this, right? She's very fertile, so maybe she can teach me some things. She laid a few eggs this morning. Nope, that's my necklace. Okay. Okay. Colin, how much honey would you recommend per day? I tend to have a ton and feel just fine. Hey, so it's so person dependent. So it depends on your body weight, depends on your goals, whether you're trying to lose or gain weight. It depends on your activity level, whether you're really active or if you're rather sedentary. I think that I don't just consume honey, so it's not my only carb source, but there have been some days where I have like a tablespoon or 2 at every single meal. That doesn't add up too much over time, but I really like raw honey because it has a lot of powerful nutrients with it. I'll be writing a post about it on Instagram here soon. I would say I don't think that there's anything wrong with consuming like 200 grams a day. I don't personally consume that much because otherwise it'd be really expensive because raw honey is expensive here because I buy it from like a local source. But I have a few tablespoons a day for sure. Okay. Will you do something on how you found and acquired your farm? Yeah, so we filmed a few videos this summer outlining the steps of it was our land hunt. We were on a land hunt. It took a really long time. We probably looked at over 30 properties and it was really discouraging. And then we got to this property near the end of the summer and we were just like, sure, we'll go take a look. And it was just it just blew us out of the park. Can definitely do a separate YouTube video on the things that we were looking for, the pros and cons of this place, what this place did have, what this place didn't have. We'll definitely do a video on that now that I know that there's interest. Okay. So Michelle, are you exercising at all now since your period hasn't returned? Still trying to figure out how much is too much right now. So that's a great question. So I'm actually sitting in our garage right now and I'm on this bench right here. And I will come in the garage 2 times a week, maybe. I've come in the garage 1 time this week and do body weight exercises, lightweight, holding a 10-pound weight just for a counterweight and do body weight squats. I am using a few metrics to know whether it's too much. So first, heart rate. I don't want my heart rate to get elevated at all. I don't want to go anywhere near failure. I'm just trying to work the muscle, connect to the muscle. Did you just eat a ladybug out of my hair? I'm just trying to work and connect to the muscle. And then another metric I'm using is my waking body temperature the next morning. So if I see a dip in my waking body temperature, which I have not yet, I've been consistently at like 97.5 for the last like 2-3 months. Stop it. Which is something that is like, I was consistently at 96 before. So sitting slightly elevated body temperature, maintaining that's a great metric to know whether you're doing much. If you see a dip, then you're doing too much and you may want to reduce. So I think just reducing your frequency, so you don't have to go more than, like, I'm not doing more than 1 or 2 times a week. And then definitely intensity's got to go way down, and it's not anywhere near failure. Okay. Farms around yours. Met the farmers. What do they raise, grow? So someone said, tell us about the farms around yours. Have you met them? What do they raise and grow? Are they regenerative? So from my understanding, there are a few regenerative farms in our area. We have visited, I think, most of them, and they are great people. And they're honestly one of the reasons why we wanted to become regenerative farmers and start a regenerative farm. So there's a pig farm. He has some cattle too. There is a raw dairy farm. That's where we get our raw dairy right now. And other than that, there isn't any like produce necessarily. We drive to a cooperative grocery store up north, like 45 minutes to get our produce. But I think that there's plenty of room for improvement for encouraging regenerative practices. In the general vicinity of us, it's all cornfields and soybean fields. Okay. Someone said, trying to gain weight after being too restrictive. My doctor recommends more carbs in the form of bread and pasta, but I want to be healthy and I don't believe those foods are the best for human health. So I am not a medical doctor. I think that Sarah and I are good at doing our own research and digesting other information and then implementing it. So we are not experts. But one thing that we have found personally is that prioritizing like fruit and like honey sources and squashes, we feel better that way. When we prioritize like starchier carbs like rice and sweet potatoes, we don't feel as good, but I like those foods. I have not added in pasta or bread in a really long time, but I think that you just have to experiment and be wary of refined grains and just see how you feel. I think when in doubt, go with real whole food sources. Try to limit your amount of refined or processed foods. That's just, I think if someone were to be able to just implement that, their life and health would improve drastically. Okay. All right. So Eric said, Cowboy Kyle backstory. I wonder if Cowboy Kyle is on this call right now. So Cowboy Kyle and his family, the Apsey family, they are the ones that gave us these chickens for my birthday. So this is mEGGatron, and then there's 7 others. So Cowboy Kyle is again visiting this weekend, and yeah, he is my hero and one of my inspirations because he, similar to me, he's an engineer. He went to University of Michigan for engineering, and then he went to Chicago to do consulting. After 3 or 4 years in Chicago for consulting, he returned home to his farm, Apsey Farms in Michigan, to convert the farm from a conventional farm into a regenerative farm. And he has done like so much in the past 3 years. He set up an online meat store, direct to consumer sales. He does all the packaging. His family helps with the farm chores, but their story is really inspiring. And I very much enjoyed getting to know the Apsey family for sure. Mike said, I'd love an interview with Cowboy Kyle. I can arrange that. I will make that happen. Cowboy Kyle, if you're watching, we're going to do an interview together. Okay. Okay. All right, I have a few more questions that I forgot to answer from the story that I thought were good. So how do you measure temperatures? Mine fluctuates within a degree, not sure what I'm looking for. So that's a great question. So we use a I combined digital and basal. Digital basal thermometer, and it tracks with 2 significant figures. So for example, 97.55. I think definitely invest in one of those. They're like $20. Okay, Marshmallow is right outside the door and she can smell mEGGatron and she really wants in here. But Marshmallow has killed a chicken before, so she's not coming in here. So back to body temperatures. Definitely get one of those thermometers so you can be a little bit more precise. I think it just depends on your goals. As a female, we want to see a rise in body temperature during ovulation, and that can be like 0.5 degree or 1 degree. That's the missing piece for me. I don't see consistent rises in temperatures. I see slight fluctuations, but it's not strong enough for me to be ovulation. So Sarah ovulates and sees a rise 0.5 to a degree increase in her waking body temperature during ovulation. And then if you're focusing on like healing your metabolism or healing in general, you want to just see an increase in your waking body temperature. So I, earlier in this year, was sitting at like 96.3 for my waking body temperature. And that's just a sign that something isn't right. So you really want to be looking for higher waking body temperature. And that can also be used as a gauge for like when you're really stressed or when your body needs a break. So if you've been high and then you wake up to like 96 point something, that can be a sign, hey, you should probably just relax today, take it easy, don't go to the gym, and implement some stress reduction and make sure that you take care of your stress. So that's how I would implement it. Just track it. Sarah figured out the other day that the health app on the iPhone does a really nice job with tracking your body temperature. So we've been inserting ours into our health app on the iPhone. Okay, so another question that I forgot to answer. What is your favorite way to relax and recharge? I know you both are really busy right now. Yeah, so we're kind of just like chickens with our heads cut off running around. There's so much on our to-do list for getting this farm set up and operated. We're just taking it day by day. But things that we like to do to just like relax. We've really enjoyed building their chicken coop this week. To be honest, we're not following a specific design. We looked at some designs and tried to see like what we enjoyed from each one and are just going with the flow a little bit. And this is very opposite of what my usual self, but it's been really, it's been like a creative freedom in just like building their coop. We're going to see how this version 1 goes, and then we will make modifications for version 2. So I think a lot of hands-on projects have been really nice recently. Sarah and I also like to read a lot. I like to read books, and Sarah and I also like to tune into some Netflix shows. Like Schitt's Creek is really funny. We didn't finish that yet. And then we also like Heart of Dixie. And cooking. I think that cooking is just really relaxing for us, something that we really enjoy doing, creating recipes. It's really nice to know that like you're fueling your body with really good nutrients that also taste really good. And it's just a fun experience. So, all right, I hope that kind of answered that question. And I think that's pretty much from there. Okay. All right. Sorry. Are you still high from the Notre Dame game? Okay, so for anyone that doesn't know, I went to Notre Dame for undergrad and very proud of the Fighting Irish this year. They're doing really well with football. Wish I could go to some games, especially since we live relatively close to there now. But that'll be next year. Okay. Yeah, I missed someone's question. Ben Juan. Hang on one second. So sorry, guys. Okay, what has been the most unexpected thing about moving to your new place, good or bad? So we recently moved from Central Illinois to our farm out in Southwest Michigan, and we live our farmhouse. We also have like the wedding barns here, and then Angel Acres. Everything is on this property. It felt like home the first night that we were here. It's just like stars align. Like I just feel like I'm really in the right place, and it feels really, really nice. I think the most unexpected thing and like kind of scary is like, wow, there are so many ticks. So we find like 2 to 3 ticks on our dogs every day. Since we've had the chickens in the backyard every couple of days though, haven't found any ticks. So hopefully that has been like kind of a natural remedy. But yeah, I think like the fear of like getting Lyme's disease is a little real and a little scary. I think that's definitely been the most unexpected. But I'm sure there will be a lot more unexpected things as we go on and move forward in this. Okay. So someone asked like about chickens. So like, can they fly over fences and how much cold can they tolerate? So very far from being chicken experts. I just know that like, they're so fun and they've added a lot to our life this last week. They add a lot of responsibilities, but it's been fun. So I don't know, but we've had like a fence probably about like 3 feet tall, like around their coop so they can go outside a little bit. And none of them have jumped over. I don't think they really want to because they know where the food is. They know where their shelter is. So far, I think that they probably can fly over, but I don't know if they really want to. And then how much cold can they tolerate? So we've had a lot of people reach out to us on Instagram saying that like they don't need heat lamps in the winter. They're going to be totally fine as long as you have like a shelter for them. And I think that if you expose them to heat lamps too much, they can become like almost reliant on them. So we've definitely stopped doing that since the first couple of nights, but we're building their mobile hoop home, which will be like enclosed and can bring them around Angel Acres. And then if the weather gets really bad, we'll just bring them into the coop. Okay, so another question. Do you think carnivore would reduce the chance of stretch marks forming while losing weight? I don't know. I am definitely not an expert on skin and stretch mark formation. I do know that I think whatever you can do to lose weight, whatever eating style, hopefully it's an animal-based nutrition eating style, whatever you can do to stay consistent and maintain that, I think would be best for your strategy. And I think just reducing weight in general would be a good idea. I'm not sure what happens with stretch marks. Someone asked, what's the latest on the barn and have you installed the new chandeliers? So for anyone that doesn't know, so we're on Armstrong Farm. So that's like the name of this property. And then we have 2 LLCs on this property. We've got Angel Acres at Armstrong Farm LLC, and that'll be the regenerative farm. And then we've got the Red Party Barns at Armstrong Farm LLC. So that's the wedding and special events barn. And we're slowly making renovations there. We're waiting until our house closes on December 18th. So we get the funds from that closing, which we can then use for a lot of the renovations. But it's going really well. We've done quite a few that look really great. The chandeliers are right behind this computer. They're like 100 pounds each. So Cowboy Kyle is going to help with those this weekend, bringing those into the barn. We do, really exciting, have a tour tomorrow with someone who's interested in booking, which is awesome. We've had quite a few people reach out who are interested in weddings for 2021. And so that's really exciting. And I think that we can hopefully get a few bookings here in the next month or two. It's just a little bit, we still need to do a better job of portraying what we see as the final vision, what the barn is going to look like when it's done with the renovations. And that's always hard to do, but I'm really excited about this opportunity. And I just want this Armstrong Farm to be a regenerative hub. And so even people who come to the weddings can learn about regenerative agriculture and get exposed to it, and they'll be able to see the sheep in the background. And yeah, okay, let me return to the question. Eric said, where is Sarah? So Sarah ran to 2 different errands in the town by us. So we only have a Dollar General in our store, so you have to drive 20 minutes. Our camera is broken, so she went to go drop that off, and then also getting a few more pieces of equipment for the mobile hoop home, because honestly, we just started using what we have at the house and kind of we're constructing it based on what we have at the house. We have to so we limit our materials expenses. Okay, so someone said, since one of your pups is a white German Shepherd, have you thought of researching German Shepherds to work with LGDs, so livestock guardian dogs, as well as the unique living fence style herding? So that's a great question. I unfortunately think that our 3 dogs are way too domesticated and they would not do well as guard dogs or herding dogs. We're on the list for a herding dog and then a livestock guardian dog in the spring. I really think that we're just going to have to train them from being young. So the livestock guardian dog, the LGD, those dogs, to be really successful, they have to be placed with whatever animals they're guarding when they're puppies. And we have to minimize the amount of human exposure at puppies, because they need to look at the animals that they're guarding as their family. And so that's really sad, but I don't think that our dogs would do a good job at all. And it would take way too much training in order to do that. And then for the herding dog, we're actually talking with someone at White Oak Pastures who is potentially training a dog for us, which would be really cool because they have lamb there. So they'd be able to train on lamb, and then we could bring it here. Okay, so this is a great question. Do you take supplements for hormonal balance, and did you have work done? So no, I do not take supplements besides magnesium. I think that's pretty much it. And then I consider liver and oysters supplements because there's just so many nutrients in them. I had blood work done at the beginning of the summer. I filmed a YouTube video on that. If you guys want to search for that video. This was after I introduced carbohydrates for quite a few months, and my blood work looked really good. I am considering increasing or taking vitamin E So Eric, if Eric is still on this call, has sent me a lot of stuff about, there's a lot of connection between vitamin E and infertility. And I have dug myself into such a big hole health-wise with my amenorrhea. And so it may need, like a lot of people say, if you're eating right, you don't need supplements. Like that's true if you're otherwise healthy, but there can be supplements that can help you like dig yourself out of a hole. So I'm considering taking vitamin E starting next week, just as like another something to help me get started. It is expensive. So that's one of the reasons why I try to limit my supplements, just because they are expensive. Okay, so someone said, do you guys have regular jobs? So no. So I still have my graduate student stipend because I'm doing some work for my advisor still. And Sarah and I are balancing like 80 other things and applying for grants and getting stuff ready here. We do have like some part-time things that we do for side income. We're doing just fine right now, but we do need to increase like our fundraising and financing for the farm operation. So that's why we're applying to all these grants. We have another one due here in a couple of weeks, and then a few due like in January and February. So we're applying to as much of those as we can. But right now, we're kind of at this place where if we get like 40, 60 hour week jobs, like right now, that would maybe push us back from getting the farm started in the spring. So we have to kind of balance how much time we spend here getting stuff done versus doing jobs elsewhere. We are doing a few, like I said, side remote things, which are definitely helping. But other than that, no, we have put everything else on pause to come on, mEGGatron, to come here and start the farm, because it takes a lot of time and work to get this thing up and running, especially from scratch and especially with zero experience. Okay. Okay, yeah, so someone said there are a lot of vitamin E's using soybean oil. That's a great point. So I'm going to be using MitoLife supplements. We have a discount code, I think it's Strong.Sistas, for 15% off there. The reason I like that one is it's MCT oil based, and so there's no like weird soybean oil stuff in it. I'll have to check out Now Foods though. That one sounds like a good one too. Okay. All right, so I said I was gonna do like 30 minutes. So we're coming close to an end here because mEGGatron's got to get to bed. You have like a 5 o'clock bedtime, is that right? And then I am tuning into a regenerative, what is it called? Sorry, let me pull it up. A Soil Health Academy webinar tonight. And so I need to eat dinner and then get ready for that, which is really exciting. For anyone that watches this later, in the comments, let us know like what other live or topic video you guys want to see. We have a few more coming out. We've been really distracted with this grant that we were applying for, but we clicked send today, which has really been a really nice stress relief. And then we are trying to finish up their chicken coop. And yeah. Okay, yeah. Mike said chicken bedtime enforced by Mama Armstrong. So we're going to head to bed. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for hanging out with mEGGatron and I. And you guys know, until next time, behave like an angel. All right. Bye, guys.